Welcome back to my channel, Star Booze.
The love of my life. The lady I married, Catherine. Life. Catherine Ross. Married Ross, Catherine. Been accompanying Catherine since 1978. The voice of Sam Elliott mustache. The myth. For many years, he has been the embodiment of calm and grit. In the West, power. Observers grew up observing him bike across arid plains and have a harsh voice truths in that soothing, deep voice. However, things behind the cool cowboy persona not always been simple. He has a face backlash from the public, false death rumors, and something even more intimate nowadays. Admission, not to a fellow actor or to his fans, but to his studio. Additionally, many were moved to tears by what was stated. Come with us. As we explore Sam Elliott's private life and its various aspects, in addition to discover the heartfelt message he left behind. A difficult start and an ambition that refused to let go. The day Sam Elliott was born was September 9, 1944, in Sacramento, California. Glennie, his mother, was formerly a state champion diver. Later on, she became a teacher and received instruction teacher. Henry Nelson, his father. Elliott was a predator control worker, expert. His parents both arrived. Texas's El Paso and one of Sam's ancestors were even surgeons. During the Saninto battle. As soon as his family relocated to Portland when he was 13, Oregon. It was there that he spent his adolescence. Completed their education at David Douglas High School in 1962. He then enrolled in college at Oregon University. He attempted studies, psychology and English, but departed after only 2 terms. Sam returned to Portland, where they enrolled at Clark College in Washington, Vancouver. That's where things started to change. He performed Big Jewel performing guys and girls on stage dolls. His performance was so remarkable that, according to the local media, he ought to be a professional performer. Following the completion of after a 2-year program, he came back to Oregon University. However, when his father died of heart disease attack, Sam permanently dropped out of college. That moment that transformed his life. He was just 18 after his father passed away. It was quite painful. Sam said years later, "My dad passed away," believing that I was a complete moron for wanting to perform as an actor. Although it hurt, he was shoved forward. That inspired me. According to Sam, my father was a good, pragmatic individual, yet he was raised in A8 a different moment. He remained steadfast in his dream. Despite his father's warnings, you have an extremely high probability of pursuing a profession in Hollywood, Sam continued to believe. However, faith alone wasn't sufficient. He still needed to put in a lot of effort. To live. And doing so required grabbing a shovel, then holding a script, constructing dreams made of grit and cement. Los Angeles. Life at first, Angeles wasn't easy. Sam didn't suddenly become famous. To make payment, he worked in construction to pay his debts. Oddly enough, that position benefited him, receive his big break. One day, as assisting a relative with a cement project job, everything was different. That companion happened to be an assistant director. He asked Sam to come see him own a set, which is how Sam received his first flavor of the motion picture industry. "My large at one point," Sam joked, "break pouring cement." Sam soon received his first movie credit. It featured in the iconic Butch film from 1969, The Sundance Kid and Cassidy. He performed, a player of cards. It played a minor part. In an actuality, it was hardly a role. "Sam, I had one line," he remarked. "It wasn't on camera. I merely existed as a shadow, on a wall." However, to him, that tiny portion meant the world. At last, he was on set. He even had the opportunity to see Robert Redford works. "It was enjoyable," he remarked with a grin. After that, Sam began to get more opportunities. He made appearances in programs such as Gunsmoke and Judd for the defense in the early 1970s. Additionally, he was in Lancer, and he played Renslow for a couple of episodes. A part in Mission Impossible followed. Despite not being in the lead, he was on a tremendous display. That made a big difference. Then, the beer ads appeared. In 1972, he became Falstaff's Cowboy Walker advertisements for beer. He was a fantastic fit for the position. His entire mood, his voice, his appearance. It seems to have been written specifically for him. However, true stardom was somewhat farther away. Later on, but when it arrived, it was well worth the wait. Innovations and failures. The major of Sam Elliott, A Breakthrough, was made 1975. He played the role of Charles Wood in the I Will Fight No More Forever is a television movie. The drama concerning Chief Joseph was strong, and the tribe of Nesp Perce. Sam performed a major position demonstrating power and depth as a performer. It was more than just his no longer a cowboy image. People began observing his true talent. Then, in 1976, he appeared in Lifeguard as Rick Carlson. The film became a silent success. He performed a Southern California lifeguard who began to doubt his life. It was an incredibly relatable tale. The magazine Variety didn't enjoy the film, referring to it as disappointing. However, they saw Sam. Elliott, do you have some beefcake? Value conveys a persona that is primarily a passive reactor, even though they didn't give him enough credit, but the movie was helpful. Sam takes a step ahead. He was no longer only a face in the distance. Not all roles was a victory, however. When he was cast in 1974 in a television pilot as El Carnaval, that seemed thrilling, particularly given that Elot the Time, Navel was a well-known brand. The show's concept was crazy. Sam's personality would face a female stunt rider in competition, in a motorbike competition. The pilot didn't travel very far. CBS did not make it entire series. Years later, someone revealed the pilot, Sam, was available on YouTube. His response, "Listen, we all have stinkers. F me, outside. Additionally, if we're fortunate, we endure." Sam is the type of man that does that. He doesn't act as though every part was a deal. It belongs to him. It makes him giggle. He goes on. However, despite the ups and downs, something about Sam stood out, that viewers adored forever. That voice, that serene might, they having the impression that he meant everything he stated. He possessed something genuine, and that more important than any single role, establishing a solid career. Lately, in the 1970s and the early 1980s, Sam Elliott started to acquire greater recognition as a character performer. His first significant part was in Aspen, a 1977 miniseries in which he portrayed Tom Keating. Several years later he did the exact opposite in the 1981 Murder in Texas. Catherine Ross and Farrah Fawcett, the woman who would eventually marry him. Alongside Cheryl Ladd, he starred in a 1985 Death in California. In 1979, Tom Selleck and Elliott collaborated on the A miniseries based on the books Sackett's of Lewis. Fans adored their combination, so much that they were reunited. In The Shadow Riders, 1982, which was also based on a lore tale. These roles from the West fit Elliott's calm demeanor, voice, and appearance exactly. He played a crucial supporting part, co-starring with Cher in Mask 1985, and in 1989's Prancer, he displayed a more side-like a parent who is strict but compassionate figure. Viewers witnessed a distinctive variation of him. Difficult on the outside, but warm from the inside out. During this period, he worked as a guest star on numerous TV programs, including Lancer, Gunsmoke, Felony Squad, and 5. Hawaii. He also starred In a number of TV films, among the most notable was Buffalo Girls Inn. He portrayed Wild Bill Hickok in 1995. In 1986, he assumed the main part in the movie Gone to Texas is about Sam Houston. Houston was portrayed by Elliott as both a courageous warrior and astute political figurehead. The narrative traced Houston's journey through his governor's tenure, with the role of Cherokee Nation in Texas leaving Mexico. By 1989, in the action film Roadhouse, Elliott starred alongside Patrick Seas. He portrayed Wade Seas's friend and mentor, Garrett. It was yet another part for a rough guy, but with heart. Sam and his wife in 1991 Catherine Ross co-starred in Canneger. Is based on a book by Louis L'Amour. This project was unique in that they shared fans and the screen adored their chemistry. However, it was just getting hotter. In support of Elliott. In the early 1990s include two of his best-known films, Dot Rolls, Turning into a Myth. In 1993, Sameen, the role of Brig. Janitor John, Elliott in the historical war movie Buford, Gettysburg. In the same year, he furthermore appeared in Tombstone as Virgil Herp, one of the most well-known westerns of the era. His solid and composed performance stood out, even well-known figures like Kurt Val Kilmer and Russell. Next came The Big Lebowski. In 1998, Elliott had limited screen time. In the movie, yet he made a significant influence. In his role as the Stranger, a cowboy-like character who tells the story film. His soothing delivery and rich voice made the part memorable. He continued, to selecting jobs that are strong. In 2002, he was in as Sergeant Major Basil, We Were Soldiers. Plumlee was a courageous, tough soldier. He also portrayed General Thaddeus in 2003. Ross in the high-budget superhero film Hulk Movie. Despite Elliott's infrequent perform the lead, his persona remained individuals. He contributed power, knowledge, and genuine feeling to each role. He possessed a presence that prompted you to pay attention and keep in mind. That's what caused him to niche. However, what followed would bring new positions as well as a whole new fan generation. In 2005, Sam Elliott appeared in Thank as a former cowboy model. You're Smoking, the twist. The character later developed lung cancer after years of cigarette advertising. It was a job with a message that is serious, and Elliott was the only one who could pull it off. He provided the voice of Ben the Cow in the 2006 Barnyard as an animated film. It was enjoyable, alteration, but that distinctive voice made even the sound of a cartoon cow powerful. In 2007, Elliott then leaped into the comic book film industry with Carter Slade, played by Ghost Rider. He also appeared in The Golden Compass as the courageous Lee Scoresby adventurer. The cast of that movie was large, such as Christopher, Nicole, Kidman, Daniel Craig, and Lee. He constructed a tiny but stylish look in Up in the Air as the principal pilot of the United States Air Carriers. A brief role, but still unforgettable. Those who enjoy the comedy series Parks and Recreation will keep his visitor in mind. Portrayal of Ron Dunn, the calm and authentic portrayal of Ron Swanson. He only made a few appearances, but once more, Elliott made his impression. He continued to work, steadily using Marmaduke's voice work 2010 and a position coaching football in 2014 draft day. In 2015, he came back in a significant manner. Elliott behaved in opposition to Lily Grandma, and Tomlin were featured in Theramance. I'll Dream About You. He was in Digging for Fire as well. He was the Critics' Choice winner that year, Best Guest on Television Award performer for his job in a drama series in Justified. And that was only the start of a fresh phase of prosperity, honors, recognition, and a voice that made an impression up. Sam Elliott started to become even more affection from both admirers and detractors. he joining The Ranch, a Netflix series, collaborating with Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson. It led him into the residences of younger viewers and reminded everyone of his exceptional talent. He contributed to Grace and Frankie as well as voiced Butch in The Good from Pixar. Dinosaur. However, The Hero 2017 was the one that truly pushed him back into the spotlight in a significant manner. Elliott performed in The Hero as an elderly Western celebrity whose prime was behind him. The position was extremely similar to House. Many critics and admirers felt it captured all of their favorite things about him. According to Awards Circuit, Elliott is a deal in this place. The Hero embodies all of your favorite things about him in one bundle. He made an appearance later that year, The Man Who Killed Hitler, a movie as outrageous as the name suggests, but Sam took the game seriously and strength as usual. Then arrived one of his biggest movies profession. He portrayed the elder Bobby Maine, Bradley Cooper's character's brother. His performance was strong and brimming with feeling. For this position, Elliott received the Best National Board of Review Awards, Abortive role. He was nominated as well for an award from the Screen Actors Guild and an Oscar at last. Speaking of Sam's first nomination for an Academy Award stated, "I believe the item off the top of Maybe It's About Effing in My Head. Time." Supporters concurred. After all these years, he had merited that in the industry. Moment. Elliott starred in 1883 in 2022, the Yellowstone prequel. He performed Shay Brennan is a powerful and multifaceted individual who guided a team of tourists through severe regions in the West. It was a successful show. Sam won the Screen Actors Award for his performance. Guild Award for Exceptional Work Be a Man in a Television Series. Even after working in Hollywood for decades, Sam Elliott wasn't finished having an effect. However, behind it was a man with the serene face and cowboy voice who had endured a great deal, including moments that were rarely seen by the general population. The truth, a casting couch, and a clear conscience. The 1980s saw Sam Elliott shared something that few masculine actors do. Discussed his personal encounters with the couch used for casting. In an interview from 1980, he stated with the Dayton Daily News, "You're shocked by the casting couch. Tales. I could point out the cliches to you are accurate." Elliott disclosed that he both men and women had approached women working in the field, and each time he rejected them. "It most likely hurts me," he said. "However, I am the one who must endure that guilt. My conscience is clear, despite the fact that my career isn't changing the world yet." These remarks revealed a lot about Fire, Sam Elliott's true identity, someone who remained true to his principles at any costs, something for him. After several years, when the #Me Too movement started wholeheartedly backed it. "In a conversation with Variety is the best thing," he said. "Hollywood hasn't experienced it in a long time." He acknowledged that in Hollywood, it frequently worked both ways. A few in order to survive, people took any necessary actions. However, the thing that devastated him the most was the youthful, naive individuals who arrived at Hollywood with aspirations that will only be crushed by the system. The integrity of Sam Elliott and power have always distinguished him. Additionally, amid a cacophonous, shifting industry, he remained truthful throughout the path. Having said that, although many, the fast-paced environment has allowed actors in the realm of technology and celebrity, Sam has chosen a different route. His method of remaining grounded is seen in one important, he's made a decision. Why does Sam Elliott remain away from social media? In the current, the majority of stars are on social media. They post selfies, updates, and moments behind the scenes with admirers. However, not Sam Elliott. He's not on Twitter. He doesn't use Instagram. Indeed, he's no email at all. During an interview, Elliott stated, "With AARP the magazine, people are looking everywhere you look. In their grasp. In dining establishments, it's as though you're seated in an area of jack-o'-lanterns because the faces of everyone their phone is shining. No one's pertaining to one another. For this reason, he decides to avoid it. He favors authentic relationships. Face-to-face is what he enjoys. Conversations rather than screen time. Furthermore, it didn't harm his reputation at all. People continue to identify him. However, what they typically first notice is not his face, but rather his voice. Before anything else, my voice is recognized. Otherwise, he claimed to have known from an early age that there was something unique about his voice. He began in church choirs as a tenor before moving to baritone before evolving into a deep bass. At that moment, I realized that my voice would be my tool. That quiet, deep voice is his trademark now. Additionally, when he wants to, he uses a method to evade attention. Now, if I just keep my mouth shut because I want to conceal. Shut up, he said. However, that isn't the only topic of conversation. Individuals additionally discuss his friendship with his spouse, who has remained resilient for decades. A tale of love that began with an unspoken look. In 1969, Sam Elliott had a minor part in the movie. He only served as a supporting actor in a scenario in a bar. However, something significant took place on that set. He spotted an actress, for the first time, Catherine Ross. She was already well known at that time because of her part in The Graduate. Sam didn't talk to her. I dared not attempt to speak to her back then. She was the leading lady. As an extra, I was exalted. Nearly 10 years later, they were thrown together by fate. Once more, they co-starred this time in the 1978 movie The Legacy. That's when at last they conversed and became acquainted. It wasn't easy though, as the Ross was still wed to her at the time. Fourth spouse. Their union came to an end in 1979, and then in 1984, 5 years later, she wed Sam Elliott. Their connection was powerful right from the start. Actually, Elliott nearly declined his part in Mask since Ross and he were on their honeymoon at the time of the offer. Over the years, their union has endured, which is uncommon in Hollywood. At one point, Elliott revealed the key to their lengthy partnership. We share awareness, but we also strive to be collectively. You go above and beyond the st. Keep going after it. That's how relationships endure. Catherine and Sam's. The anecdote demonstrates that true love requires work. The wonderful times aren't all that matters. It's about supporting one another during everything. However, even with a powerful voice, a lengthy career, and marriage, things people recognize right away, Sam Elliott has consistently adhered to himself. He never wanted money. It was always focused on the task, cash, films, and doing so for the right reasons, explanations. Following over 50 years in, Sam Elliott has established a reputation in Hollywood that people value. He has been in many television programs and movies. He won honors, and he has earned a respectable living. Celebrity net worth indicates that Elliott is approximately $20 million in value. However, that was never the purpose. During an interview, he was forthright with The Guardian. "I've never worked for pay. For it's all about the narrative, the writing, the feeling that goes into the part. Working for money isn't the point," he stated. "What's on the page is important." Due to his mentality, he has ended up in certain movies that not many people watched, but he has no regrets. He takes pride in the decisions he made. Sam isn't too centered on his legacy. He is not concerned regarding the opinions others will have of him later. For him, what counts is how he feels at the moment and with whom he is working with. "It's all about having fun with the process," he said. "And if you are unable to enjoy that, you're approaching it incorrectly." He then included a line summarizing how he observes life's ups and downs and performing. "You can occasionally eat the procedure. The process can consume you at times." These words reveal Sam Elliott's true self. A man who appreciates integrity, diligence, and remaining rooted. He doesn't adhere to the crowd. He doesn't seek notoriety. Additionally, he never lost sight of his origins. Whether avoidance of social media, amusement at memes with mustaches, or declining roles, it doesn't feel proper. He has always listened to his instincts, and that's what maintains returning fans, not only for the deep voice or the cowboy hats, but for Sam Elliott, the man behind them. The genuine. Blunders throughout one's career. Elliott, Sam possesses one of the most identifiable faces and Hollywood voices. With his profound draw, along with that iconic mustache, he became a representation of the silent, powerful cowboy. However, it wasn't always easy. Sailing. Sam once claimed that he nearly destroyed his career before it had even begun. When he was promoting his film, The According to Hero, Elliott told Business Insider it wasn't always simple. He stated, I believed. I had ruined my career." For Sam, the movie The Hero was significant. It was his first significant main role following years of supporting roles. Hep played the elderly Western Lee Hayden actor who is having trouble managing their time and the industry pressures. The narrative struck a chord. Near home. The director of the film, Brett Haley, and Elliott had collaborated. "I'll see you in my dreams." Before then, the two grew close over the movie's promotion and subsequently joined forces once more. Haley and his co-author penned The Hero, thinking of Sam. Elliott revealed, "Every actor wishes someone would write for them. Something just for them," he said. "I've had folks write pieces for 'em over time, but I've never experienced. Could someone just provide me the script I was on? Each page that I was involved in writing thoughts." In spite of his lengthy career, for Sam, the moment was significant. It produced, he had a new sense of being seen. However, only when things appeared to be going smoothly, there was going to be a maelstrom of controversy. Go with him. When a word is overused, public expression of regret. In 2022, Sam Elliott found himself the target of criticism, after voicing strong opinions against the film that won an Oscar. In an interview with the WTF podcast, Elliott contacted Mark Maron to call the movie a portion of it and questioned its depiction of cowboys. Additionally, he made comments that suggested unease with themes of sexuality in the film and questioned Jane Campion, the director, about context. People refused to accept it in a light manner. His remarks regarding the movie, its performers, as well as Campion, who came from. This led to a lot of criticism for New Zealand. Later, Campion retaliated by calling Elliott's opinions are xenophobic, sexist, as well as homophobic. She went on to say, Benedict is an actor, not a cowboy. Cumberbatch, the movie's star, replied without mentioning Sam by name. He said, regarding the issue of presuming everyone must lead a typical or heterosexual existence simply due to their origins or whatever their employment. Following all of this, Sam Elliott acknowledged his error. He apologized during a Deadline event. "I didn't say it very clearly," he remarked. "I said some hurtful things, people, and that makes me feel awful. The gay community has," he added, "been amazing throughout my career, every job and every level of friendship. I apologize if I offended any of those pals, and anybody else based on what I said." Additionally expressed regret to the authority of the Dogs cast. "All excellent actors," he stated, "and especially Benedict Cumberbatch. All I can say is that I'm sorry, and I am," Sam acknowledged, had been attempting to discuss the film. However, his expression was lacking. Even though he apologized late, it was genuine. However, as if one dispute wasn't enough, something more startling appeared on the internet. A claim that he had passed away. The viral, fictitious death. In social media boomed in August 2023 with assertion that Sam Elliott had died away. Fans around were astonished by the news. YouTube videos with titles were available, like the 10 Minutes and the Sam Elliott Homage, Sam Elliott's final farewell on his deathbed. Even the thumbnails displayed his birth year 1944 followed by 2023, indicating he had passed away. The videos moved swiftly, going viral. "Let's preserve the legacy," one said, "of Sam Elliott still living and well." Which only made things more confusing. These phony, it wasn't just YouTube that spread death rumors, they appeared on Facebook and Twitter. As well. While some individuals thought it was true, others questioned it. But there was no major news. Anything was said by outlets. This is due to the information was untrue. Sam Elliott was still living and well. The rumors originated with YouTube channels that lack credibility, such as Ripple Celebrity Breaking News and In Time, which had propagated falsehoods in the past. These fake deaths were also posted on the same channels. Videos including other celebrities, such as Mike Tyson. Some websites, such as The Sun and Sportskeeda, read the story but provided no actual origin. They even made advantage of a claim that was obviously lifted from earlier scams. He becomes one of the many famous people who've fallen prey to this scam. He's alive and healthy. Give up believing the things you see online. The precise line had already been utilized, were to spread false information about other celebrities. Media Mass is a website that was also responsible for disseminating false information, a portion of the material. This wasn't even Sam experienced it for the first time. Returning. Similar rumor circulated online in 2019, asserting that he had died quietly as he was asleep. However, in spite of all these misleading statements, Sam Elliott is extremely living. Indeed, in addition to being alive, he continues to work. Get back to work. Even despite all of the speculation, Sam Elliott remains displaying no indications of slowing. He's reappearing on screen in Season 2 of Paramount Plus's Landman series. The Taylor Sheridan is the creator of the show, same individual who created Yellowstone in 1883. Sam formerly collaborated with Sheridan on. He portrayed Shay Brennan in 1883, a cowboy with a tragic past who assists in leading inhabitants throughout the plains. This moment in Sam Landman will be a regular on the show. The program takes place in Texas and is based on the individuals employed in the oil and gas industry. Billy Bob plays the primary role. According to Thornton, the section was written especially for him. So, how is Landman about? It recounts the landman's tale. Experts who work closely with landowners to protect gas and oil rights. They oversee leases, communicate with billionaires, and manage influential businesses. Tommy Thornton's character, right in the middle of that, is Norris, the world. Even despite Sam's specifics, Elliott's function is yet unknown. Fans can't wait for him to return to screen, his previous collaboration with Sheridan, and his capacity to provide serenity, depth, and his ability to play all roles makes him ideal, suitable for this rough series. Ultimately, the fluctuations, the difficulties in one's profession, Sam, the death hoaxes, and the apology, Elliott remains upright and still, working while continuing to pursue his passion. How do you feel about Sam Elliott's choice Tollways expresses? His opinions, even when they sparks debate? Tell us what you think in the remarks section below. Additionally, remember to click like, subscribe, and keep watching for other amazing tales from the interesting history of Hollywood. See you the next time.